The EPA cited noise pollution as a serious health issue today. A 2019 Good Housekeeping article talks about a 2014 report published by the National Institutes of Health, which revealed that tens of millions of Americans suffer from health issues, heart disease, disturbed sleep, increased blood pressure, hearing loss and more, because of noise exposure. Noise is an invisible pollutant that affects our breathing, brain waves, hearts, stress levels, and our general well-being, while silence replenishes and calms us. We've been worrying about toxins in our air and water for years, but consensus is now growing in the scientific community about the hazards of too much noise. It is believed that long exposure at 85 decibels is dangerous, but at 120 decibels, even short exposure can do damage. To give you a point of reference, here are the decibel measurements of common noises, but keep in mind you usually experience many of these noises in combination, therefore easily surpassing healthy limits. Nearby whispering is around 30 decibels. A refrigerator humming, 40 decibels. Most air conditioners, 60 decibels. A lawn mower, 80 to 85 decibels. An approaching train, 100 decibels. An ambulance siren, 120 decibels. A 2011 report, Burden of Disease from Environmental Noise, claims that Western Europeans lose up to 1.6 million years of healthy living annually from noise pollution, compared to 4.5 million years lost for air pollution. Noise is only second to air pollution in environmental hazards, according to the World Health Organization. People use the phrase, "I get used to it, I walk the streets and I get used to the noise," Bronzaf told The Times. It means you've adapted to the noise. When you're dealing with something, you're using energy to cope with the situation. Guess what? That's wear and tear on your body. So, when you hear someone say, "I'm dealing with it," I say, yes, but at what cost? Some experts recommend noise fasts, such as can be had in the mountains or desert. Practitioners notice an immediate drop in stress and a fresh sense of well-being as their minds return to a natural equilibrium. Deep quiet also spurs creativity and helps you work through problems. However, none of these reports mention the unhealthy consequences of noise pollution to the human spirit. There are evident spiritual consequences to noise, and benefits of silence. Merriam-Webster defines silence as forbearance from speech or noise, muteness, absence of sound or noise, stillness. Wikipedia defines it as the absence of ambient audible sound, the emission of sounds of such low intensity that they do not draw attention to themselves, or the state of having ceased to produce sounds. This latter sense can be extended to apply to the cessation or absence of any form of communication, whether through speech or other medium. But the most spiritually oriented definition comes from the Urban Dictionary. It says, "Silence tells the truth." That's why people hate it so much, because by having no other distraction, you have to face the facts. The thoughts you always want to avoid are heard in silence. It is the aspect of silence as a spiritual practice that we will focus on from here. Silence is a spiritual practice that has been used for centuries as a way to periodically withdraw from the world and to rest and renew oneself on the spiritual journey. It is often referred to in terms of space, the immensity inside, the cave of the heart, the oasis of quiet, the inner sanctuary, the interior castle, the sacred center where God dwells. Silence is a powerful antidote to the noise of our daily lives, and can help increase our capacity for contemplation, and focus our attention on deep matters of the heart. Silence is also a metaphor for inner stillness. A silent mind, freed from the onslaught of thoughts and thought patterns, is both a goal and an important step in spiritual development. It is where we can commune with things greater than the cacophony of sounds all around us. To practice silence, one must make room for it, literally. Find a space of physical silence where you can sit quietly, away from distracting demands, voices, and sounds. And then go there every day to take this gateway to your interior silence. Here are a few scriptures that support the spiritual practice of silence.
But God is in his holy temple. Quiet everyone, a holy silence. Listen. Habakkuk 2 verse 20. After the earthquake came a fire, but he, Lord, was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19 verse 12. There was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Revelation 8 verse 1. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5 verse 16.
Here are some popular quotes about silence.
Silence is the only thing that can be destroyed by saying its name. Anonymous. Silence is the thing that you strive to get away from. You fill your head with pointless nothings just to get away from this void of nothingness. Silence is the thing that reveals the secrets you hide from even yourself. Silence doesn't let you hide from your insecurities or the depression that consumes all things. Anonymous. I've begun to realize that you can listen to silence and learn from it. It has a quality and a dimension all its own. Haim Potok, The Chosen. Silence is a source of great strength. Lao Tzu. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Confucius. Silence is the sleep that nourishes wisdom. Francis Bacon. Choose silence, of all virtues, for by it you hear other men's imperfections, and conceal your own. George Bernard Shaw. Silence is a text easy to misread. A. Tanacio, The Eagle and the Sword. He who does not know how to be silent will not know how to speak. Ausonius. There is no need to go to India or anywhere else to find peace. You will find that deep place of silence right in your room, your garden, or even your bathtub. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. Max Ehrmann, Desiderata. There are times when silence is the best way to yell at the top of your voice. O. Batista. Speech is of time, silence is of eternity. Thomas Carlyle, Sartor Resartus. Be silent and safe. Silence never betrays you. John Boyle O'Reilly, Rules of the Road.
How to practice silence. Silence is listening to God in quiet, without interruption and noise. This includes no speaking, no music, no reading, and also includes quieting your own thoughts so they focus on God's presence. Stillness is the most perfect way to practice silence, but it can also be practiced while doing things, such as driving or commuting without the radio or CD player turned on, leaving the TV off and spending time in silence with God, while piddling around the house, or exercising without the noise of music, TV, or conversation, but listening to God. What can you expect from practicing silence? A healthier mind, body and spirit, more freedom from negative habits of speech, deception, gossip, impulsive chatter, small talk, impression management, the need to express your opinion or critique, freedom from addictions to modern noises such as TV, phone, music, YouTube, Facebook, and others, receiving quiet from the chaos and the noise in your life, deeper intimacy with God, self-awareness, improved spiritual and conversational listening skills, realization that the world can go on for an hour, or a day, or even longer, without us. And we don't need to respond to every word and request that comes our way. Silence invites us to leave behind the competing demands of our outer world for time alone with Jesus. Silence offers a way of paying attention to the Spirit of God, and what He brings to the surface of our souls, things such as pockets of sadness, anger, unresolved grief, resentments, loneliness, fears, impatience, doubts, longings, unforgiveness, wicked thoughts, and weaknesses. And then when these things surface, He gives us the heart to face these revelations and deal with them until they rise no more. Finally, silence, contemplation, solitude, quietness, humor, meditation and so many other disciplines are important to bring health, yes, to our spirits, but in so doing, the body and mind will also benefit. So, we need to fight off the distractions of life that keep us from these practices. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said,
"We are so afraid of silence that we chase ourselves from one event to the next in order not to have to spend a moment alone with ourselves, in order not to have to look at ourselves in the mirror."
I urge you to seek out the mirror of silence and stare into your own soul. Look hard enough and you will see God standing there, beside you.
Silence! Keep quiet, please.